I'm in the Massanutten Mountains at New Market Gap. New Market Gap is one of the low passes in the mountains. US 211 crosses here. On the east side you have Luray, Virginia, and on the west side you have New Market. This trail that I'm starting my hike on is said to be the same route that Stonewall Jackson took in late 1862 when he marched something like 30,000 Confederate soldiers over the mountain here at this pass. So we're going to follow this for a ways up the side of the mountain, and then we're going to take a few other trails to get up to the peak. So we'll see how it goes. Here's where the white blazed Wildflower Trail intersects with the orange blazed Massanutten South Trail. We're going to turn right and head up the side of the mountain. This will be some pretty steep hiking for the next mile or mile and a half. Okay, I made it up to the overlook. This is along the ridgeline, although we're not totally up as high as we're going to get. The elevation here is about 2,600 feet, and I'm on the west side of the Massanutten Mountains, and down there is the Shenandoah Valley. That's in the foreground is US 211 heading west, and off in the distance going left to right is the Interstate 81. Here's a little bit of a pan. It's nice weather up here today. It's about maybe 70 degrees with a little bit of a breeze. Good hiking weather so far. I'm just a real short distance down this trail from that overlook, and I looked over here and look at that. That's a nice flat area right there. Some rocks, but it's really flat and covered with pine needles and stuff. That's big enough to pitch a tent. So and you might be able to squeeze another one in right there. One-person tent. And actually, now that I'm looking back there, I see a fire ring. So let me go around the corner here. Looks like maybe there's a campsite up here. Well, just around the corner there's more overlook area here. Let me get out a little closer to the abyss. I don't know if I want to stand on this last rock though. It's pretty big, but it looks like it's going to slide off the side of the mountain. This is looking in the same general direction as the other video I took earlier. Maybe a little bit wider pan here. Let me go all the way around so you can see what's behind me here. The trail's back there. It's just a bunch of rock. This is just a big rock outcropping here. Trees growing up in it. is this second one is bigger if you're bringing a large number of people up here. Okay, so right up there is the overlook, and back here, look what I found. There's a fire ring, and this whole area here has got lots of flat rocks on it, and judging from the looks of this place, it's been used quite a bit as a camping area. It looks to be pretty cleaned up. It looks like people have done a pretty good job of picking up their trash. So I see a little bit, but not much at all. So nice little camping spot up here, right next to the overlook. Once you get past the initial climb and you get up here along the ridgeline, this hiking is fairly flat. It's been uphill still, but it's not nearly as steep as it was. That first mile is pretty darn steep hiking, but this part right through here is a nice little stroll through the woods. I'm on my way to the very summit of Bird Knob, and there's supposed to be some old geological survey benchmarks up there. Instead of geocaching, I like to look for these old benchmarks because some of them have historical significance. These ones up here aren't particularly historically important, but whenever I'm near them, I usually go see if I can find them. So we're gonna keep heading on up this way until we get to the very top. Okay, here's where the fork in the road is, so to speak. To the left is goes to Forest Road 375, and that's also, I believe, blazed orange as the Massanutten Trail, and we'll come back this way, but for now we're going to go to the right on this White Blaze Trail up towards Bird Knob. That sign there says it's 2 more miles to Bird Knob. So here we go. Whoa, look at that. Bears have been through here, tearing stuff up, looking for grubs. Anyway, onward and upward towards Bird Knob Summit. I'm not at Bird Knob yet, but I stopped at this cleared area here because this this cleared area here is where 3 counties in Virginia all meet. That's overgrown out there. There might be a marker out there, but I'm not going to go out there because it's just you know, like 2 and 3 foot high tall grass. But anyway, over this way is Shenandoah County. Over that way is Rockingham County. And then looking this way is Page County. The elevation here is about 2570. To get to the summit of Bird Knob, it looks like I'm going to have to bushwhack my way through some tall grass over here to get over to the woodsy area, and then maybe from there it'll be clear hiking. But we'll see. It's only about 2/10 of a mile from here up to the top. Okay, well here I am on the summit of Bird Knob. The elevation here is about, let's see, about 2680, and that is bird reference mark number 3, and it's dated 1933, and there's an arrow on it which is pointing towards the survey station, which is this direction. And before I got up here, based on the database information, I drew a little map. So now that I found RM3, I know I should be able to find the station 225 feet from here on a certain compass bearing. So I'm going to head that way and see if I can find it. Okay, there's the triangulation station. It wasn't exactly where I thought it was going to be, but there it is. It's marked Bird, B-I-R-D, 1933. And now that I've found this, I should be able to find the other two using my compass. Here's what the area looks like up here. It's totally overgrown. This is at the summit of Bird Knob. There's no view up here. It's just totally overgrown with trees and underbrush and stuff. One of the other reference marks might be over there on that big outcropping. I'll look over there. So this is the high point of the hike, and there's the station I was looking for from 1933. There's bird reference mark number 1, dated 1933. You can see the arrow pointing back towards the triangulation station. Got one more to find. Well, that was pretty exciting getting down off that summit. I decided not to come down exactly the same way I went up because it looked like it was too steep to come down safely, so I went down another way and wound my way around the side of the summit until I finally realized that I was basically lost. There's no trail up there. So between my maps, my GPS, and mostly my compass, I had to bushwhack my way about 500 feet or so back up the hill in a certain direction to get back up to the big clearing area so that I showed you earlier. So I just passed that now, and I'm picking up this fire road, and we're going to head down this fire road until we find the Emerald Pond. Finally made it to the pond. This is called Emerald Pond. It's fed from a spring. It's not huge, but it's a decent sized pond. Has kind of a greenish color to the water. The elevation here is 2,470 feet. I'm going to take a walk around. We'll see what we can find around the pond. Here's the other end of the pond. A nice little rocky area over there. I'm going to go over there and sit down and get some water and eat some lunch because it's almost 2 o'clock now. Very nice area here, except that fire ring there. Let's see, we've got Corona, we've got underwear, super big gulp from 7-Eleven, some smashed cans, burned cigarette packs, broken glass, and I don't know, some plastic bubble packs that had some sort of food in it, or candy. So anyway, hopefully the next person that comes up here and builds a fire will burn that stuff up. But other than that, this area looks pretty nice. Well, I sat here and ate a little bit of lunch by this pond, this emerald pond. Well, looking around here, this is an artificial pond. They that side over there is an artificial embankment that they created, and there's a spring that feeds in up at that end, and there's a low spot over there where it drains out. So it drains in over there, drains out over there, and then this is the dam, so to speak. That thing right there turns out is man-made. I guess this pond been here quite a while, and that little walkway out there and that little pillar there are stones that people have stacked up, and they've used some mortar to to hold them together. And at the top, they capped it with some mortar at the top, and there's some bottle caps, beer bottle caps, stuck in the top of it. This little area down here is a nice little area. It's a flat rock there, and it's only about a foot deep, maybe not even that much. You could sit in there and get wet. And if you wanted to go outwards deeper, it looks like it drops off pretty steep there. I don't know how, it's definitely way over your head there. But anyway, I'm running late. It's 2:15 right now. I've hiked 5.4 miles and I haven't run into a single soul. So if you like solitude, this is a good hike. The weather's been good. So I'm gonna go around the rest of the pond here and then start heading back down. Just a little ways uphill from the pond, I found this little turnaround place here with a fire ring. So here's another campsite. You could pitch a tent there. That's flat. There's a fire ring there. So, and it's cleared out real nice. If you look back this way, there's the pond right there. About a half a mile past the pond, and here's an intersection with another Forest Service road that goes on up the side of the hill here. So we're going to take a left and head up that way. Now this is what you call a road right here. Also has an orange blaze, which means it's the trail I want to be on. So we're going on up this road for a half a mile or so. I need to get back up to about 2,700 feet elevation, which is the very highest point in the hike. And then after that it'll be downhill all the way to my car, which is about 1,800 feet. So we'll see you in a little while. Okay, I climbed my way back up to 2,700 feet elevation. Here's where the Forest Service road makes a hairpin turn to the right. Down there's where it came from. There's a hairpin turn to the right, but we are going to go left and through that closed gate down there and eventually hook back up with the Massanutten South Trail, which has got a orange blaze to it. So here we go. Well, I was wrong about the peak elevation. I'm still hiking up towards the ridge line to get back, and right now I'm at 2,800 feet. I thought it would peak out around 27, but I'm at 2,800 and I'm still going up some. But the main reason I stopped was that huge pile of sand there. That is an ant hill. The soil here is real sandy, and at first I thought maybe somebody dumped sand there, but I don't think so. There are millions and millions of ants crawling around all over the place there. So it's possible that those millions and millions of ants created that huge pile of sand. Still hiking up this road, there's another big pile of sand with millions and millions of ants on it. That one's not quite as big as the first one I showed you, but that's still a pretty big mound. That thing's probably 8 feet across and 3 feet high or so, and it's crawling with ants. Anyway, for now I'm going to avoid the ants and keep going up this way till I get to the top. I've passed at least a dozen of these huge ant hills. Here's a little close-up of one. Maybe you can see the ants buzzing around. There's some bees that try to land there, and every time they land, the ants get them, so they just hover. But there's millions of ants, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of holes. I have no idea how they figure out who's doing what. But there you have it. Ant industry at work. Alrighty, we are back to where the Forest Service road merges in with this Massanutten Trail. So from here back, it's just this trail and then back on that white blazed Wildflower trail. That sign is telling me it's 3 miles back to the picnic area where I parked my car. And I have hiked about 7.5 miles, so this is going to be a 10-miler by the time I get done. But from here back, it's all downhill. The elevation here is 2780. I think my car is at 1,800 feet. Back to the Overlook section. The elevation here is about 2,600 feet. from here back to the car, though, it gets real steep. It's going to be downhill, though. I think it's about 2 more miles. Anyway, here's a pan sitting here under the shade of some trees. It's nice up here. It's kind of windy. Maybe 75 degrees. Here's one more view from the Overlook area. It's looking down towards Newmarket. It's looking to the south. That's looking to the north. I read somewhere that there's a good custard stand, frozen custard stand down there somewhere, so I think I'm going to go home that way and see if I can find the frozen custard. Okay, I finally made it down off that mountain. Man, it's hard on my knees. Coming down is hard. Anyway, this is the intersection with the old road that Stonewall Jackson used to move his troops across the gap here at Newmarket Gap to get over the mountain here. So he would have come up from there and down this way and continuing on down that way until he got completely off the side of the mountain. The elevation here is about 1,800 feet. So I'm going to head back on up this way, which is a little bit uphill, but it's only about 1/4 of a mile up to the parking lot, and then I'm done with the hike. Hope you enjoyed coming along.